Hey, so today I'm going to be talking about something that's coming up here. You all know, we're in October. Everybody wants to say Halloween season. But for me, I've never grown up trick-or-treating or grown up in a house that is celebrated Halloween. I remember once, I'm going to tell you guys this real quick, that we celebrated Halloween. I was like maybe 7 or 8, and we never did it again. My dad has never really agreed with Halloween. He's never really liked Halloween. It's gonna kind of gone against his beliefs and what he believes. Not saying that we're trying to be over religious, but this is just what I believe. I've come to believe myself. But we went, and even as a little kid, not really knowing much about God, not really knowing much about the spirit realm, stuff like that, I could feel some heaviness there. I didn't know what it was, so I didn't really know how to explain it that night. But I've heard my mom talk about it. She goes, we could feel the heaviness there, and that's why I've never taken you again. And I come to speak on this. I've done research on it, so I'm going to go through all the research I've done on it, and I'm going to share a Bible verse or two about some things that I think are going along with this. So I'm going to get right into it. But I wrote this in, I kind of titled it, The Pagans and the Origin of Halloween. And it says, paganism is a term given to Gentiles or people who worship more than one god. People who are like the Romans, the Greeks, who have multiple gods that they believed were real, or people who didn't worship the one true God, the God we serve. And I want to say that, okay, so that's get down paganism. I think people get that mixed up and think, okay, so the pagans are a religious group. I think there is a religious group called the pagans, but paganism and the pagans are just anybody who worships more than one god. And so the people who Halloween kind of came down from are the Celts. And now you may ask, who are the Celts? The Celts were a group of Iron Age Indo-European tribes from Central Europe who shared a common language, culture, and belief system. And you may ask, what did the Celts believe? The Celts' belief system was centered on a polytheistic means they worship more than one god, so pagans. Polytheistic pagan system with numerous gods and goddesses associated with nature, fertility, and human activities. They also worshipped in what they believed to be natural and sacred places like groves and springs, not temples. They didn't have temples. They worshipped in, as it says, groves, springs, all the stuff that what they considered to be natural, sacred places. And so I'm going to tell you guys what their priests were, Druids. And Druids were the Celtic priests. The definition for Druid is a priest, magician, or soothsayer in the ancient Celtic religion. So people want to celebrate stuff when Druids are part of them. Talking about soothsayer, magicians, that goes against what God says. Magicians, really? And that's just demonic. Magicians, some stuff they do are just plain out demonic. Some of them are just plain out demonic. The Celts formed what we know today as Halloween. It developed from their Celtic festival. The Celtic festival was and please correct me if I'm saying this wrong down in the comments. I don't really know how to pronounce it. I didn't look it up. I'm going to cut to the part when I figure out how to say this. Alright guys, I figured it out. So I looked it up and it's pronounced Samhain. So the Celtic Samhain Festival. Sorry for that, but whatever. The Samhain Celtic Festival was a marking of the end of harvest season and the beginning of what they believed to be the dark half of the year. The dark half of the year. You want to celebrate something that was considered the dark half of the year and what they believed, and they celebrated this thing to welcome in the dark half of the year. Really, guys? It doesn't make sense to me. And said it was celebrated from October 31st to November 1st. The Celts believed that at the time the veil between the human and spirit worlds was believed to be the thinnest, allowing spirits to interact with the living. Huge red flag. Spirits act with the living. They believed that spirits could come in on those days and they could interact with the living. That's just plain out demonic. If you guys don't think that's demonic. We don't celebrate the Mexican festival that is the Day of the Dead. So why should we celebrate the same thing when the Celts believed that the spirit was the veil of when people could interact with the dead spirits? Like, come on. I'm not meaning this to be harsh. This is my view of it and why I think you guys shouldn't celebrate Halloween, and why I think Christians in specific shouldn't celebrate Halloween. I'm not trying to be harsh if I am coming off across harsh. Key traditions for the Celts was to light communal bonfires to ward off evil spirits. Like, ward off evil spirits? Are you kidding me? This is part of their the Samhain Celtic festival. To communal fires, bonfires to ward off evil spirits. That's part of their tradition in there. The ward off evil spirits. Are you kidding me? That if that doesn't scream demonic to you, I don't know what does. They also believe in wearing costumes and disguises and masks to protect themselves from evil spirits. So a lot of people think, oh, the costumes aren't bad. My kids can wear costumes. I'm not saying costumes on any other day are bad. They're fine. But when you wear them specifically on Halloween, you are partaking in this Samhain festival. And it says we're masked, we're protected. The disguises and masks, costumes, whatever you want to say, to protect themselves from evil spirits. Like, again, if that doesn't scream demonic to you, I don't know what does and what will. Because if you think that wearing costumes are okay with your kids on Halloween night, no, it's not okay at all, guys. Because the masks, they believe, protected them from evil spirits. Because they were afraid, because they knew how those things could come and mess with them. That's demonic, guys. Evil spirits concerning demons, guys. When you hear people talk about ghosts and demons and stuff like that, I believe that they are, or evil spirits, I believe that those are demons. The ancient Celts believed that during this Samhain, ghosts of the dead and spirits could travel between worlds, making it a time for them to connect with their ancestors in the dead. Again, doesn't scream demonic to you. They believe that during this time they could connect with their dead ancestors and the dead. It says ghost of the dead and spirits, guys. This is, I can't harp on this enough. That is demonic. That is just severely demonic. We shouldn't want to connect with the ghosts of the dead and the spirits. No. If Christians knowing where they go, you either go to heaven or hell. This is demonic, guys. The bonfires. This is things on the bonfires. I'm going to go through some of the stuff they did, and I'm going to talk about them. The Druid priests of the Celts lit the bonfires to welcome in the winter and to what they believed to purify the land. People would take fire from the communal fire and take it back to their homes, relight it in their own hearths. So this is talking about how they lit bonfires. Personally, I would stay away from lighting bonfires after I researched this on Halloween night, because it could welcome in things too. They believed to welcome in winter, and what they believed to purify the land. Purify the land of demonic spirits. This whole thing is talking about connecting with the dead and purify the land. Disguises and masks. I'm going to go over this a bit more. The reason why people wore disguises and masks were to protect themselves from mischievous or evil spirits, or to blend in. Like, mischievous or evil spirits. That's demonic. Demonic. Mischievous or evil spirits. Like, mischievous or evil spirits is demons, guys. I don't know how else to put it. It's demons. Okay? And evil spirits, like that's demonic. Or to blend in. And as Christians, we're called to stand out and not blend in with the world. We're called to be different. So if the whole world celebrates Halloween, then why should we? And I was listening to a video, and he was talking about, an ex-Satanist was talking about Halloween and what it is for ex-Satanists to, and what they do on Halloween. And what he was talking about there's a lot of bad stuff, like the wizards, the witches, and all those things. Like, they're very active there, and they're casting spells and all that stuff. He goes, there is human sacrifices on the night of Halloween, and his name is Johnny Ramirez. I'm gonna put the video in the link in the description, and his channel in the link in the description. So if you want to see what I looked at, the video will be in the link in the description. And so he's talking about different things in there, different things on Halloween and how it was when he was an ex-Satanist. And he goes on to talk about in there, he says how when he went to the demonic church, they didn't welcome in things of God. They didn't partake in things like Easter, Resurrection Sunday, Good Friday. They didn't partake in those things. You want to know why? Because they're demonic, and it's demonic and it's against God. Why would they want to partake in those things? So why would the church want to partake in and Christians in general want to partake in that stuff of the world too? Why would we want to partake in stuff that we know is demonic? Look at all the decorations and things all around. Most of it's skeletons. We have something on our street that they're like cooking heads and all that stuff, and skeletons all crawling up the trees and stuff, and all demonic. And look at the things. Look what comes out more on Halloween. And look what they advertise more during Halloween. They advertise more demonic in horror movies. If you don't watch horror movies in general, I don't recommend you do. Why would you do that? And even with the trick or treating, guys, saying trick or treat, like what is like saying trick or treat and stuff like that. I want to look up the meaning of trick real quick. So trick means a cunning or skillful act or scheme intended to deceive or outwit somebody. That's demonic. Deceiving people is demonic. Deceive or outwit someone by being cunning or skillful. Why would we want to deceive people? So when you say trick or treat, you know what people do sometimes when they don't get candy? Things happen, they trick people, and it's trying to being cunning and deceptive. That is against God. I'm going to go on and talk about carving pumpkins. The Celts carved faces into root vegetables to ward off or scare evil spirits and guide wandering souls. So root vegetables such as pumpkins, things like that, and to ward off or scare evil spirits. If that's not demonic, then why? To me, that's demonic. And why would you want to do that? Why would you partake in that and put those things on your porches when it's to ward off evil spirits? To me, that's just welcoming anything to ward off evil spirits. Or when you're coming in agreement with these things, why? Because if ward off evil spirits, that's just letting more stuff in and demonic things in. When I go out during Halloween or Halloween day, you can feel the spirit coming and resting on the day, guys. I can feel it when I'm out and about, and when I ride past all these decorations and stuff. I can feel the heaviness of the spirits on them. So I'm going to do a conclusion real quick. So in conclusion, a lot of the traditions we come from the Celts, and there's Samhain's festival. Things such as disguises and masks they wear, and the pumpkins they carve. People carve. Personally, I've never worn a disguise on Halloween. We just kind of went around the thing, but I'll do an overview of this. So one thing, I'm not trying to harp on churches or anything like this, because my church personally, my old church didn't, but my church personally right now believes in trunk or treating. And again, with the John Ramirez, he talks about how they didn't bring things, I'm going to repeat this, they didn't bring things that were of God into the demonic church. He goes, shame on the Christians in the Christian church for bringing in things that's demonic, for bringing in things that bringing things and welcoming things into the church that's demonic. Look at some of the things people wear, the mask disguises or costumes. Some of them are demonic. Some of them come from like horror movies and stuff like that. And again, look what they advertise, the horror movies. But he says, shame on the church for allowing that stuff in their church. I know this isn't a very popular thing, me not believing Halloween, not doing Halloween. But this is something I strongly believe on. I'm going to stand on my beliefs. I'm going to read something real quick out of Proverbs 22. It says 22 verse 5. It says, thorns and snares are in the way of the crooked. Whoever guards his soul will keep far from them. So when we're people are partaking with that, they're not guarding their soul like the scripture says. They're welcoming in those things. And if you guys don't feel the demonic when you're out trick-or-treating, I don't know how else to like get this to you guys. I feel it every single time I'm out, guys. I feel for those people that are lost, guys, that don't know what they're doing. I'm trying to spread the message, guys. But as Christians, we shouldn't be celebrating things that are of the world. Jesus calls us, and God calls us to be in the world, but not of it. We're not supposed to partake of worldly things. We're supposed to partake of things of God. So I personally don't believe in celebrating Halloween, especially as a Christian. We shouldn't celebrate Halloween. I'm going to pray and I'm going to be done. Dear God, Lord, I pray for anybody who is struggling on what to do, Lord, during Halloween, Lord, whether they're supposed to celebrate it or not, God. Pray that you give them the wisdom and you let them know what to do, God. I pray over anybody who does celebrate Halloween that you protect their house, Lord, for some time, for they don't know what they're letting in, God. And I pray that you help them to continue to grow in your knowledge and grow in the knowledge of you, Lord. I pray for anybody who's not a Christian, God, that you help save them, God, and you help me be a light shining in the darkness, Lord. And that it doesn't come about me, Lord, and they see you and your love in me. Just amen. I'm going to talk for a little longer, but if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments below. Any prayer requests, put them in the comments below. And I'm open to any questions, because just ask me questions. I don't know how well I'm able to answer them, but I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, God loves you. Bye.